Hi, Roy here on my channel Roy Reads Anything, which is mainly about enjoying old books, and this is my TBR for GarbAugust. So GarbAugust, fantastic reading event in the month of August that's to do with reading trashy books, celebrating trashy books. Trashy as in enjoyable, entertaining, candy floss, firmly in genres that are promising you something very clearly and fun, very low barriers to reading enjoyable sub-literature. Okay, so and this was a reading event devised by CriminOlly. A year ago, when I was just starting BookTube, GarbAugust was coming up, and it was the thing that made me think this is something I want to get involved with. And this year, I've been made a co-host of the event, which is fantastic. Lots of other fantastic co-hosts as well. But yeah, I was honoured and touched to be invited. It was great when the white smoke went up from Olly's palace in the Trashican. And here I am, one of the co-hosts. Others are fabulous. You've got to see their stuff. Links are down below. See, there are a lot of co-hosts. I think we're like rats. So you're never more than a metre away from one at any given time. So TBR, yes, planning what to read. I'm going to try and at least do the prompts and maybe make some inroads into the bingo card as well. So week 1, category romance or men's adventure. So I'll try and do both. And I've tried where possible I thought, wouldn't it be great to get 2 books in these two contrasting genres with the same title? Failed to do that, but getting close. So I will be reading Sicilian Spring by Sally Wentworth, a Mills and Boon category romance, and Sicilian Slaughter, an executioner book by Jim Peterson. Matt Bolan hits the mafia's birthplace and Sicily starts to sizzle. So yeah, 2 books, 2 Sicily set books. So we'll see how they overlap. You know, I guess the artist in me feels I should cut them in half and stick them together or something like that, but I'll probably just read them separately and see. Straight away I can see one link. The Mills and Boon editorial, they're always talking about things being sizzling, and here's the executioner setting Sicily sizzling as well. So yeah, interested to read those. So
is Montalbano in either of them?
Inspector Montalbano, well, I don't know yet, not read them.
Let's hope he is.
Let's hope he is. Yeah. So there you go. Sicilian Spring versus Sicilian Slaughter. Week 2, Paperbacks from Hell or Vintage Smut. So it's 2 types of vintage. Paperbacks from Hell. Phrase comes from Grady Hendrix's book of that title, but it could mean anything. So by the way, if you want to join in, you don't have to do the prompts, you don't have to do things in particular weeks. It's just about some sort of trashy read that appeals to you. So I'm hoping everybody, particularly the more literary end of my friends here, will give this a go in some way. So what is it? Paperbacks from Hell or Vintage Smut? Well, I've got The Rats by James Herbert, New English Library, 1970s. Odd that I've never read this because, you know, this came out when I was a teenager, very much sort of the right time for this sort of thing. Always thought this is like a sort of, I don't know if this initiated the animals attack subgenre of horror, but yeah, I've read other James Herbert later books. You know, he's a man of Sussex, where I'm from, so kind of a local hero. So how come I haven't read The Rats? Well, gonna do it. This is the time for The Rats. And vintage smut wise, August heat because it's going to be in August, you see, so sort of thought it fits in.
Clever.
So this is probably the one I'd least want to be seen reading on a bus or train. August Heat by Roger Allen. Betrayed by her husband, Lorette decides to do some betraying of her own. A startlingly intimate close-up of reckless love and lovers. Love him again and again. For tomorrow she would lose him. She must give him twice as much love, over and over. I'll keep you alive, she promised. Her passion awakened his every cell, but for how long? Sounds like sort of some sort of necromantic kind of deal. Anyway, yes, looking forward to that. Published by Midwood in, I'm guessing, 1960s. 1962. It's nearly as old as I am. I could have read this as a 1-year-old. Well, 1-year-old.
Thank God you didn't.
Little babies are interested in bosoms, aren't they? So. Then.
Oh dear, what are you like?
Week 3, novelisations or books by famous people. Here I have managed to do the matching title thing with books by famous people. Tarantula by Bob Dylan. Novelisation, Tarantula, of a horror movie. So, Bob Dylan's Tarantula. Now, I guess if books by famous people for GarbAugust deemed to be trash, I guess it's more like celebrities would be what we normally have in mind. But I don't know, I've got my suspicion. I love Bob Dylan, I love his music, and I've seen him live, you know, and I just think this thing that was produced at an initial rush of his fame, not sure about it, and the way it's packaged, I have my suspicions it might not be fantastic. Bob Dylan expressing the inexpressible. So what is Tarantula about? It's about a lawyer who leads his pig around on a leash and takes his paranoia seriously. The lawyers or the pigs or the authors. It's about a police chief who's had his name engraved on his personal bazooka. About Jesus Christ as just another meathead. About Truman Peyote, that rings a bell. Anyway, yes, I couldn't. It's my fear is not that it's going to be all weird stuff and not make any sense, because I'm comfortable with that, and you know, the sort of Beat Generation writers that inspired Dylan, love them. I'm worried about it being puerile and cringe making, but we'll see. It might be the best thing ever. I mean, he's got one more Nobel Prize than I have. So Tarantula by Bob Dylan will be my book by a famous person. Tarantula novelisation. So Tarantula was a horror film, came out in the 50s from Universal. So Universal Studios. A couple of years back, I set out to watch every Universal horror movie, thinking there'd be about 10. You know, like sort of Dracula, Frankenstein, Mummy. What else is there? But then if you proceed into the 50s, things got very sort of science fictional. Tarantula has a giant spider in it. Special effects are brilliant because it's a regular spider made to look as if it's huge. So a novelisation of that, but look at it. It's a hardback, it's thin. Movie Monsters series. Okay, yes, but it's adapted from the screenplay, so it definitely is a novelisation. Edited by Dr. Howard Schroeder, Professor in Reading and Language Arts, Department of Elementary Education, Mankato State University. So it's some sort of literacy thing for kids. It came out in 1985, so why you would think, yeah, let's get the kids reading. Find a movie from 30 years ago. Preferably about a giant spider. But that's what happened. It definitely counts as a novelisation. Got some photos in it as well. So looking forward to that. Obviously, that shouldn't take me very long. Might be quite refreshing after Bob Dylan's Tarantula. maybe there's a crossover between them. Who knows?
Maybe you could write a massive cento poem where you interleave one text with the other.
Maybe I could.
For poetic effect.
Yeah, well, that is a legitimate poetic strategy. So a week of tarantulas, and then the final week and the rest of the month is anything goes, where I have a mystery item. I thought I'd found a niche so niche that it only had one book in it. There might be two, in which case there'll be two things going in the bag. But we'll come back to that nearer the time. Other stuff I might fit in. I brandished a copy of Dracula's Lost World in the last GarbAugust video I did, and I've actually begun to think maybe I should read it. Partly because it's not Dracula goes to the Lost World from Arthur Conan Doyle's novel with the pterodactyl in it. That, if it was, I'd be rolling on the ground purring. But it's some sort of Dracula's quest for gold in an undiscovered, uncivilized land. Got to be good, and it's got a cigarette ad in it. One of the key markers of trash, according to CriminOlly, and it would be part of the GarbIngo card is the cigarette ad. So it would be helping me out there. Yes. What else? Did occur to me that there's a genre. Not a genre, a type of book that's even lower down the pecking order than some of the category trash novels, and that's the pocket books produced by women's magazines. So yes, they're books, but they come out like magazines. They're sold regularly in newsagents, and you can subscribe to them, and you get things like puzzles in the back. But it's basically a novel. But this one's called Circus of Fear. And it promises thrills and danger, and she's been in a circus, and now she's going back to the circus again. But who was the sinister new ringmaster? So, sinister ringmaster, thrills and danger. Maybe I'll fit that in. We'll see. So that is pretty much locked in TBR for GarbAugust. Like I say, hope people can join in on some level, even if it's only seeing what the experience of reading this stuff is actually like. But yes, do join in if you can. Going to finish now with my regular random sentence from a sword and sorcery novel. He was still stooping when a white figure peered between the trunks at him, then glided soundlessly away. Back soon with something else.